Hello friends, welcome to Medicine of 101. Today we will talk about from the general pathology aspects, that is the pyroptosis. Before starting the topic, let's talk about, I have already uploaded the video based on apoptosis. Okay, so what if we just divide the word pyroptosis? So pyro means what? Pyrexia, that means that will cause the fever, and tosis, that means apoptosis. If we just compare with this the term, that means that will cause the cell death. So definitely we can classify the term from here. If we see what the fever and the cell death over here, then you can consider the we can consider the incident as a, we can consider the situation as a what? Pyroptosis. Okay. So let's talk about the pyroptosis over here. So basically, is the process. So whenever we will fever, definitely there should be some infections. Otherwise, what? There will be no fever. Okay. Now see, whenever we will see the infectious agents, okay, whenever we will see the infectious agents will be over here, the pyroptosis process will be stimulated over here. Okay. So whenever the infectious agents will come over here, then that can cause the pyroptosis. So let's write it over here. So pyroptosis, we can write it over in this way. So it's the process. It is the process stimulated by infections. Just think about one thing over here. Okay, for example, that is a cell. It's a cell over here. Okay, just think like this. It's a cell. Okay, I'm just considering the black one as a cell. Now, whenever we're just comparing these things, whenever the infectious agents will come over here, okay, on the what cells, and just under the cells within the cytoplasm there is a receptors. See, this is the this blue one is the receptors over here. Now, whenever this receptors is over here, there is what? Intercellular receptors. Now, whenever the infectious agents is coming over here, now the infectious agents will get attached. The infectious agent, this one will get attached with the what? With the receptors. Okay, with the cytoplasmic receptors. Now, the name of this cytoplasmic receptor, that is what? NLR, node-like receptors. Okay, so we'll see over here just in the same way. For example, it's the cell over here. Okay, it's the cell over here. Now within the cells, for example, there are the receptors over here, that is NLR, or we can say node-like receptors, node-like or receptor. Now think about one thing, whenever the infectious agents, they are coming over here, for example, the infectious agents are coming over here, okay. Now these two will get bind together. Well, that means we can see over here that the infectious agents, we'll see over here the infectious agent plus receptors. Whenever they will get bind together, they will form on top of the thing, this whole thing. We can just consider in this way, we can just give the name of the combination, that is known as inflammasome. That is known as inflammasome. So we'll see they will form the what? Inflammasome over here. So inflammasome. See? So they will form the inflammasome. Now this inflammasome is having the capacity to activate certain of the things over here. Okay. Now see out one thing. Okay. This inflammasome that can activate. It can activate or stimulates two types of the caspase. So let me show over here. Two types of the caspase over here, the caspase 1 and caspase 11. Caspase 11. Now, whenever the caspase 11 will be activated, that will cause directly the cell death. Now, the caspase 11, that will cause directly what? The cell death over here. That means we are getting the apoptosis over here. Okay. Now, what about the caspase 1? Now the function of the caspase 1, that can activate or that can stimulate the what? That can stimulate to form the interleukin 1. Okay, we'll see the formation of interleukin 1. And we know from the basic things, this interleukin 1 that can cause the what? Fever. That can cause the fever. That means the pyrexia over here. Okay, pyrexia. Now see, we are seeing the two combination of these two things over here. One is cell death and another is fever. So that's why the term is what? Pyroptosis. Pyrexia along with the ptosis, apoptosis. So it's quite easy to say that it will be the pyroptosis over here. Okay. Now see one thing, for any region, if we see that any type of the gain of the mutations in the gain of functions, if we see, okay, for example, if we see the mutations of NLR, that means not like receptors over here, in terms of the gain of function, because in terms of the mutations we know there will be what? There may be gain of function, there may be loss of functions. So whenever you are talking in terms of the gain of function, there will be overproduction. So okay. Now see, whenever we see the mutations of NLR receptors, that means in terms of the gain of function, okay. In these cases, we will see they will produce the what? More productions or more formation of the interleukin 1. So we will see over here the more productions or more formation of interleukin 1. In these cases, we will see what? The periodic fever. The fever will come frequently. We will see the fever frequently. So we can say over here that periodic fever. And in these cases, it is known as what? The term we were supposed to remember over here for this thing, that is known as autoinflammatory syndrome. So autoinflammatory syndrome. Autoinflammatory syndrome. This type of things we will get over there. Okay. Now there are certain types of the factors or certain types of the conditions. Okay, we can see over here in terms of the pyroptosis. In pyroptosis, we can see the inflammations over here also. Okay. In pyroptosis, we will get also the swelling. Okay. In pyroptosis, we will see, here we will see cellular swelling. It will be positive, and you can also see the what? Inflammation over here. This will be positive over here. Okay. So this type of the thing we can see in this way. And along with that, we will see one more thing. You will see over here the cell membrane damage. We will see the damage of the cell membrane. See the thing. Whenever we see the membrane, whenever we see, for example, the cell membrane, if we see the cell membrane damage over here, then the different types of the what? Inflammatory mediators. Okay, from the cells we will see the different types of the what? Inflammatory mediators will come over here. Inflammatory mediators, that will come over here, and that will cause the further things, just like these things. Okay, fever and this type of the things over here. Okay, so this was all about the pyroptosis. So pyroptosis means I already said is the process stimulated by infections. Whenever the infectious agents will come over here on the cell, okay, they will just get bind with the on top of the intercellular receptor, that is known as NLR, or you can say the node-like receptors. Whenever they will get bind with the node-like receptors, they will form the inflammasome. Now, whenever we see the formations of the inflammasome, they can activate the two types of the caspase over here. Okay, one is caspase 1, another is caspase 11. Now, the caspase 11 is having the capacity to cause the cell death directly. That can cause the apoptosis. And what about the caspase 1? The caspase 1 that can formations of the that can what? Form the interleukin 1. And whenever we see the interleukin 1 is formed over here, we know that can go to the hypothalamus, that can cause that can cause the hypothermia, that can cause the fever over here. In another term, we can call it in terms of the pyrexia. Okay, and I already said it over here that whenever we will see, if we see any types of the mutations in the what? NLR, that means in the node-like receptors over here, then there will be overproduction. So we can say, okay, there will be what? More formations of the interleukin 1. And whenever there will be more formation of the interleukin 1, definitely we can say what? That will be frequently fever. That means we can say that is the periodic fever. Okay, frequent fever. In these cases, this whole thing is known as autoinflammatory syndrome. It's not related with the autoimmune disease. That is a different thing. Autoimmune disease, that is a different thing. Autoinflammatory syndrome, that is a different thing. Okay. And I already said it also about other type of the features. There are some other types of the features we can get over in terms of the pyroptosis. We can get the cellular swelling. Definitely, if we see the cellular swelling, definitely there must be the what? Inflammations. And another thing we can say over here, in these cases, we can see the membrane of the what? Cell membrane damage. And whenever we see cell membrane damage, definitely the different types of the inflammatory mediators that will come from the cells to the outside, and that can cause, that can give the signals for the different types of the interleukins, the inflammatory mediators over here, and they will come over here and they will cause the cell death. So that's all about the pyroptosis. Okay, it's a short video, a short thing. Okay, in the next part I will talk about the necroptosis. Okay, see you in the next video. और अगर ये वीडियो आपको लोग अच्छा लगे तो प्लीज़ ज़रूर सब्सक्राइब कीजिए, लाइक कीजिए और ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा शेयर कीजिए, ताकि अलग लोग आपका दोस्त लोग को भी मिल सके इस टाइप का कुछ अच्छा वीडियो. तो थैंक यू फॉर वॉचिंग इन द नेक्स्ट वीडियो.